Today on Listen Up, as the world gets ready to celebrate its most popular holiday, we ask, what's the meaning behind it all? Exploring Christmas, next. This is our Merry Christmas edition of Listen Up, and I'm Lorna Duick. Christmas is a holiday celebrated by people of many faiths and no faith at all. But to Christians, Christmas is the second most sacred date on the calendar. Today we'll explore why that is as we dig into the meaning of it all and take you to some in-depth learning with Canada's Christmas expert, Dr. Gerry Bowler, and to your opinions on the street captured at the annual seasonal celebration, the Santa Claus Parade. Later in the show, we'll unpack a big word, incarnation, and that helps us explain the enduring hold Christmas has on our lives. We'll also highlight the history of some of the most popular festive traditions. But first, Christmas preparations are in full swing, and one of the most popular traditions involves a right jolly old elf making his way into town. He's arguably the world's most welcome guest, and the preparations for his arrival are like no other. More than 500,000 people each year wait in the cold here in hopeful anticipation of a glimpse of Father Christmas.
We love the parade. We come now. We've been down for 2 years. I used to come when I was a kid, so it's just a really good tradition.
Second time for me.
And it's a tradition that's lasted. For over 100 years, the Toronto Santa Claus Parade has wound its way through downtown streets. Santa Claus first came to town in 1905. Throughout the century, his bowl full of jelly has been carried by horses, reindeer, and motorized floats of all shapes and sizes. By 1995, the Toronto Santa Claus Parade had become the largest parade in the world. Today, welcoming his royal hapiness takes a team of 4,000 parade volunteers and participants and over 30 floats. The tradition of floats began in 1927, creations inspired by popular nursery rhymes and fairy tales of the day. And while much ado has been made over the modern-day commercialization of the floats, it's hard to ignore the faces full of hopeful expectation. It's an excitement even politicians can't escape.
Christmas, it's great. Look at the great people here. Merry Christmas!
Newly elected Toronto Mayor Rob Ford isn't worried about getting coal in his stocking this year.
Nice list all the time.
But even a controversial politician can't hold a candle to the man of the hour.
There he is, Liam.
Well, all of that excitement calls for an expert on Christmas, Gerry Bowler, author of Santa Claus, a biography, and the World Encyclopedia of Christmas, teaches history at the University of Manitoba. And Gerry, welcome to teach us here at Listen Up.
Thank you.
Okay, so you've seen the excitement that Santa Claus generates. Your book describes him as the dominant fictional character in our world. What is the reason for Santa's appeal?
Well, he's got a lot of appeals. For children, of course, he's the magical gift bringer. That's where most of his appeal comes from. But he's a very particular kind of gift bringer. He is warm and grandfatherly and non-judgmental. He has that sort of Christian vehicle of grace, of undeserved love, undeserved merit. So that has allowed him to worm himself into world culture for the last couple hundred years. But of course, being a bringer of gifts, he also has tremendous appeal to the commercial sector. And he's one of the great underpinnings of the world industrial economy, particularly Chinese economy, in producing all those gifts. Radio stations, television stations sell airtime. He makes a lot of money for a lot of people.
Okay, let's talk about the tension of that, because Santa first was a Christian symbol, not a commercial symbol. Tell us how that broke apart.
Well, Santa is an invention of, or makes his first appearance, I should say, about 200 years ago. He's a direct descendant of St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas is the first magical gift bringer. We've been giving gifts at Christmas for almost 2,000 years, but it's not until about the 1100s that we get a magical gift bringer, and that turns out to be St. Nicholas. And he delivers gifts to good little girls and boys in medieval Europe.
And of course, small children are still trying to please him today.
Do you think you're going to be on Santa's nice or naughty list?
Nice list.
Nice.
I don't know.
No idea? You don't know how you did throughout the year? You don't know if you've been good or bad?
I'd say I've been pretty good. Pretty good.
Definitely the nice list, yeah.
Nice.
I'm definitely nice.
Nice. Definitely nice.
Nice. So what does the future hold for Santa Claus?
Oh, I think he's in it for the long run. He is such a part of the world's moral economy. He allows parents to do amazing things. This is one of the most interesting things about Santa Claus is that parents provide gifts and yet they refuse to take credit for it. They deflect the credit to this magical gift bringer, and in doing so give children an additional gift, the gift of creativity and magic and imagination. And that's far too important, I think, to family life ever to be abolished.
We set out the little things for Santa, like the milk and cookies, and we leave carrots for the reindeers.
Yeah, we all get together and we have dinner, and then at about midnight we all open our gifts.
We always open up one present, which is usually nice looking pajamas for Christmas morning, and we watch Miracle on 34th Street. Oh no, is that the one we watch?
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Tell us about preparing with the lights, the Christmas lights. What do they mean?
Well, there's a number of things tied up there. Every culture that has a midwinter festival, a festival held at the darkest time of the year, always has three elements to it. There'll always be a celebration of plenty, because this is the most barren time of the year, and a celebration of greenery, because it's the most barren. But because it's the coldest and the darkest, we love to cling to the light. So right from the beginning, right from the 300s, Jesus is touted by the church as the new sun, the light of the world, and ever since, candles have been part of that.
Candlelight service? Usually, yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
And what's that like for you?
Oh, it's awesome.
Special?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Got to keep Christ in Christmas, right? Yeah.
Oh, church? We do Mass on Christmas Day.
Midnight Mass, yeah. And it's part of your tradition?
Yeah, it's part of the tradition, yeah.
How do you feel when you go to that service every year?
Feels good.
Yeah, because that day the church is usually crowded, you know. That's when you see everybody who goes once a year to church. So,
Okay, now let's talk about Advent, because there is a whole series of traditions around getting ready to remember the meaning of God's incarnation at Christmas. Tell us how that Advent idea unfolds.
Sure. We use Advent largely as a physical preparation for all the things that have to be done for Christmas. This is when the baking gets done, the cleaning gets done, the shopping gets done, the Christmas cards get done. But there's been a significant push over the last 30 years, I would say, by Protestant churches in North America to reintroduce the religious aspect, the spiritual preparation of Advent into the whole Christmas season.
All right, well, stay with us. We're going to continue our conversation with author, historian, and Christmas expert, Dr. Gerry Bowler, when we return.